Jalen Brunson is much better than we thought. Originally, when the Knicks signed Jalen Brunson during free agency, a lot of people expected him to be a really good starting level player, a huge upgrade from what the Knicks had previous. But so far early on into the season, Brunson has far surpassed any expectations that really anybody has had. He's been playing like a high-level all-star for the Knicks thus far. But quickly, before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm Juicy Sports, I make opinionated NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that post notification bell. I also want to quickly mention that I recently started up an MMA channel, and if you guys are interested in that, the link will be in the description. But anyways, let's get into it. Jalen Brunson was one of those guys that wasn't the most highly touted coming into the NBA, but what he did really well was once he got to the Dallas Mavericks, he worked extremely hard season after season, and you saw the progression. And eventually he got to the point where last season, during the 2021 season, he had a great season for the Dallas Mavericks. And at that point, he was making a real case for himself for being a legitimate starting level point guard. And due to his great play not only during the regular season, but especially in the playoffs, he actually ended up signing a big contract with the New York Knicks. And at the time of the signing, most people liked it, some people thought the contract was a little too high, but overall the player that the Knicks were bringing in, most people liked it. They thought he was going to be a pretty good starting level player, maybe eventually in the long-term future turn into an all-star player, but that was basically it. But so far early on into the season, Brunson has far surpassed those expectations. On the year, he's averaging 22 points per game on 47% shooting from the field, 3.6 rebounds on 6.5 assists. Just incredible numbers and significantly better than any other year he's played. But the thing about Brunson is those numbers are actually a little bit lower than he's truly playing, especially as of late. As of late, Brunson has put up a 38-point game, a 44-point game, 34, 34 again, and a 25-point game on all very efficient shooting numbers. The way that Brunson is playing, especially as of late, is honestly very close to a high-level all-star, and maybe you can make the case for a superstar player. Now obviously I'm not saying that Brunson is a superstar player, but I think he's playing on that level for the stretch. He's doing a really nice job at shooting that 3 ball at a really high percentage, as he is shooting almost 40% from deep this season. He's also doing a really nice job at going to his bread and butter, which is his mid-range game, whether you talk about a post turnaround fadeaway, which is unique for someone his position and his size, or you talk about his great pull-up mid-range jump shot, crossover, sidestep, and step back from that mid-range area. Brunson can do it all. But also, Brunson is one of the better players in the NBA at driving all the way to the basket. Although he's not necessarily the most athletic guy and he's not the biggest guy, he does a great job at finishing through contact or even avoiding contact once driving all the way to the basket. He has the ability to utilize either hand, either his left or right, and just overall does a great job at finishing around the rim. But in my opinion, the real attraction of Brunson and the real reason why the Knicks brought him in, of course his scoring was a factor, but the main reason was his passing and playmaking ability. So far early on into the season, Brunson is doing a phenomenal job at facilitating for this Knicks team. And we've seen the Knicks overall just play a lot better this season compared to last year due to that passing and playmaking ability and the fact that the Knicks have a real point guard on their roster that can calm everyone down in clutch situations, but also just run the offense effectively. But we've also seen him affect a bunch of different players on this Knicks roster, specifically Julius Randle. Now Julius Randle last year of course had a really bad season, but so far early on into the season this year, Julius is playing phenomenal basketball, and in my opinion a huge reason for why he's doing this is due to Jalen Brunson, and the fact that Brunson makes his life so much easier. Now Julius doesn't need to take the ball up the court anymore, Brunson does that. Brunson also facilitates for everybody else, so Julius doesn't really need to facilitate anymore. But also most importantly, Brunson gets the ball to Julius in the right spots and just makes it very easy for him to score. Brunson has also made other guys' lives easier like Mitchell Robinson with the pick and roll lobs, RJ Barrett with just getting him easier shots, Quentin Grimes even getting him wide open looks from that 3-point range, and overall the effect that Brunson has had on this team has been tremendous. He's not only a guy that's a great individual scorer, but he makes everybody around him better. And due to that, he's been a very winning player for the New York Knicks. But based upon how well Jalen has been playing on this recent stretch, a few different questions have come up. The first question is, could Jalen continue to play like this for the rest of this season and even in the playoffs? Well, in my opinion, I don't think Jalen's going to be putting putting up 30 points consistently, but I do think he is going to play at a similar level to what he's playing at now for the rest of the season, and especially in the playoffs. I actually think he's going to accelerate his play once it comes down to the playoffs, if the Knicks make it, of course. And the reason why I think this is Jalen has proven in years past with the Dallas Mavericks, when it comes down to the playoffs, he does accelerate his play. Now, of course, this season he's playing much better than he ever did in the past, and it would be harder to accelerate the level of play he's playing this season as compared to in years past, but I do think he's going to be able to do it. And in the playoffs, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he's averaging 28 a game, while also involving his teammates really effectively and averaging anywhere from 7 to 9 assists per game as well. I honestly think Jalen has proven the fact that he's a really good player and he's on that level. And if Jalen's able to keep up that level of play, and if the Knicks are able to keep up the level of play that they have been showing as of late, I do think the Knicks will make the playoffs, and honestly, who knows how far they can go. The Knicks are just playing at a very, very high level at this point. And although it is very early on into the season, and things could obviously change, it is certainly a good sign, especially compared to last year. But the next question that a lot of people have is, could Jalen continue to play like this in the long-term future? And most importantly, can he continue to improve his game season after season? Well, in my opinion, based upon what he's shown us so far throughout his young NBA career, I do think he will. I think he's just going to continue to improve his game year after year, and eventually he's going to become a high-level all-star player. Now, this is something that I didn't expect coming into the season, but based upon how well he's been playing thus far, I do think it is a realistic goal for him to get there in the future. And what I mean by that is I think he could be a guy that's averaging anywhere from 25 to 28 points per game consistently on efficient shooting numbers, while also, of course, doing all the other things that he does well in terms of his passing and playmaking abilities. And honestly, assuming Jalen continues to improve his game season after season, I do think the Knicks have a very bright future. If you already have a point guard at that level that Jalen is proving to be on, but also you have other guys on your team like RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, Mitchell Robinson, Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, Julius Randle if the Knicks decide to keep him, now you're talking about a lot of other young players that are also going to continue to improve. And based upon the fact that they're already playing really well this season, you would expect them to be really good in the distant future. In my opinion, the biggest issue with the New York Knicks over the years has always been that point guard situation. And the fact that the Knicks have not only found a really good point guard that can score, but also can actually facilitate at a really high level for them right away, but only will get better with time, is honestly something that's really significant for this Knicks team. And also when you consider the amount of draft picks that the Knicks have going forward in the next 4 or 5 seasons, that's also very significant. So I'm certainly really excited about the Knicks' future as a whole, but I'm also extremely excited to see what Jalen Brunson can do in the long-term future as well, because I honestly think he's going to be a really, really good player, and he's going to surprise a lot of people, like he already has been doing. But I guess only time will tell what does end up happening for not only the New York Knicks, but also Jalen Brunson. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Jalen Brunson could turn into a high-level all-star guy in the future, or do you not think so? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, check one of these 2 videos popping up now, and until the next time, peace out, guys.